All right, so it seems like the entire Democratic Party is united behind Kamala Harris, except, notably and interestingly, Barack Obama. Obama doesn't believe Kamala Harris can beat Trump, which is why he has not endorsed her, sources say. Former President Barack Obama hasn't endorsed Kamala Harris's presidential bid because he doesn't think she can beat Donald Trump, according to a source close to the Biden family. Following Joe Biden's shock resignation from the race on Sunday and his immediate endorsement of the vice president, most of the Democratic elite have been quick to rally behind Harris, but Obama is a notable exception. Obama's very upset because he knows she can't win, the Biden family source told the Post. Obama knows she's just incompetent. The border czar who never visited the border, saying that all migrants should have health insurance. She cannot navigate the landmines that are ahead of her. When you are running for president, there are things you can and can't say. The turning point for Biden, 81, came after his disastrous performance against Trump in a televised debate, from which the Post first revealed was part of an elaborate setup to remove him from the race. But the source doesn't have high hopes for a TV debate between Trump and Harris. When Biden was still in the race, a second debate was scheduled for September 10th. Yeah, they wouldn't have gotten that either. Wait until the debate. She can't debate. She's going to put her foot in her mouth about Israel, Palestine, Ukraine. She's going to say something really stupid, the source said. Obama knew this was going to happen. Joe knew this was going to happen. Now she is going to have to answer real questions. The White House did not respond to the Post's request for comment on this story. According to the source, Obama's hope was to get Biden out of the way, and an article written by George Clooney in the New York Times asking him to step aside was part of that plan. However, the higher-ups in the Democratic Party didn't count on Biden endorsing Harris right away, and, quote, Obama was shocked when Joe endorsed her, according to the insider. After Biden's ouster, Obama, who did not return a request for comment Wednesday, wanted Arizona Senator and former astronaut Mark Kelly at the top of the ticket when the Democratic National Convention is held next month, the source said. Obama is furious things haven't gone his way, which is why he is not joining in the Democratic Party's support of Harris, the Biden source added. Another well-placed Democratic source said, Obama being surprised by a smart political decision actually makes sense when coupled with his personal inability to see politics beyond his singular immediate interests. Wow, little trouble in the house of Obama there. Obama always thinks he is the smartest and coolest guy in the room. He's friends with George Clooney, after all. Rod Blagojevich, the disgraced former governor of Illinois.
There's a name we haven't heard for a while.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't heard that in a long time. The disgraced former governor of Illinois, who denounced Obama as a threat to democracy in a Wall Street Journal op-ed Tuesday, told the Post he believes Obama was instrumental to getting Biden out of the race. Blagojevich, a former Democrat who is now supporting Trump, was governor of Illinois when Obama became a state senator in 2005. Biden's departure from the race couldn't have happened without him, Blagojevich told the Post. Without Obama, Biden is still the Democratic nominee. Obama was the conductor leading the orchestra that convinced Biden to step aside. Obama ended his role as Illinois senator when he was elected president, while Blagojevich was impeached in 2009 for attempting to sell Obama's vacant Senate seat, removed from office and convicted on corruption charges a year later. Obama persuading Biden not to run for the presidency in 2016 in order to allow Hillary Clinton a shot at the White House has also since been a sticking point between them, according to reports. He was not encouraging, Biden later told the New York Times, referring to the former president, who believed at the time that the former Secretary of State had a better chance of beating Trump. Well, he called that one pretty wrong.
Yeah.
He's running the Democratic Party like a Chicago ward boss from the shadows in the back room, Blagojevich continued. In this case, it's a big back room because he has a lot of big houses. So little resentment there, which could be the source of this leak. You know, we know that Biden was pissed off that Obama tried to get him out. So maybe one of the family said, hey, you know what? I'll shit talk Obama to the press a little bit. If he can dish it, he can take it. That's what I was
thinking when I read it, because a Biden family member.
Yeah.
They clearly wanted to keep the grift going.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe, you answered all the questions, Joe. God knows how much fucking power Joe Biden has had in that White House. She's the president.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't want to give up that power. So yeah, so they leaked it. How true is that? Look, Obama knows how to issue an endorsement. This isn't like it's a controversial thing he's wading into by doing it. He doesn't like to do those things in public. So sure, it does seem to be indicative of something that he's choosing not to endorse Kamala this long.
Of course. I mean, it was notable he tweeted out last night in response to Biden's address to the country after formally conceding the nomination. He tweeted out, it's not like he's been radio silent. Like, if he wanted to endorse Harris now that she has the delegate majority, I mean, think about that. She has the delegate majority. She is the presumptive nominee at this point, barring any cataclysmic event or circumstance.
Apparently,
she's going to
that's
get the
not
votes.
really a done deal until the floor.
Well, until they vote, obviously,
at the convention.
Well, yeah.
I read something that even this virtual thing they're doing doesn't seal it. That until they, I don't know if that's true. I read it in a source, and I've seen a lot of these articles. Nobody really seems to know what the fuck's going on, but one of these articles said until the floor votes, it's not a done deal.
Well, when she has convinced the majority of delegates to back her, that's what I mean. Like, it would take something seismic to reverse that. They've now come out and said,
Obama
could
do it.
Kamala Harris. Yeah, is that going to happen? I mean, is that going to happen? How much time do they really have? How much time do they have between this virtual vote and August?
Probably not. Yeah. But the fact that he hasn't endorsed her, there's a reason. There is a reason.
The reason is, I think these claims are true. I mean, it makes sense. It doesn't just seem like gossip that someone printed for no reason. I think it makes sense. The reason he did not endorse her is because he wanted a more open process. He wanted a hand in picking who the nominee was going to be, just like he had a hand in that in 2020, clearing the field for Biden at the last minute. Seems like he would want that. I also believe the claim that he wants it to be Mark Kelly from Arizona. I think that's a smart pick. I think it's a smart pick. Doesn't mean my politics are Mark Kelly's politics, but the most generic Democrat you can put on the ballot is the best in this situation. Because the polling says younger generic Democrat beats Trump pretty handily. So the closer you can get to that, the biggest chance you have to win. So Kelly would be strong. He's an astronaut. Who doesn't like an astronaut? Come on, who wouldn't vote for an astronaut over Donald Trump? I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not voting for either party. Unless you're a committed, cynical bastard like me.
They didn't actually go to the moon.
Yeah, people are saying he's not even an astronaut.
He's not even an astronaut. He did that on a set in Hollywood.
It's a Hollywood movie set, exactly. No, but I mean, to the average person, fucking an astronaut, why wouldn't you vote for an astronaut named Mark Kelly? It's so benign. It's so unthreatening.
Right.
I think he'd have a good chance to win. I think Andy Bashir would have a good chance to win. I think the most generic, especially Democrats who don't necessarily code Democrat, don't code, elite, Ivy League, woke, whatever. Like, that is the lane that gives you the best chance. Are you the favorite? I don't think you can say any Democrat's the favorite under these circumstances, but that gives you the best chance. And they didn't go that way because they couldn't. They couldn't because they knew they had saddled themselves with Harris. And so that's it. It's Harris. This was a colossal failure of thinking by Democratic leadership. I don't know whose hand was involved in Biden picking Harris as vice president, but you talk about a lack of foresight and a lack, a lack of preparation. Like, did you think Biden was going to be able to run in 2024 again? Did you really think that? And if not, when he picked Harris, you should have known, wow, we have a major problem on our hands. And if you really wanted to solve it, what you'd have done is you'd have forced Biden to drop out a year and a half ago so that you would have had a real primary. Harris would have gone into that primary with an edge as the vice president, but I don't know. I don't think she'd have won it. I don't think she'd have won it because she came in with a huge advantage in 2019, and she blew it in a month. Within a month or two, she was in the bottom tier. And
they anointed her the second Hillary lost.
Exactly. And she blew it then. So like if you wanted to avoid this problem, the way to avoid this problem, even after he picked Kamala, if you really wanted to avoid the problem, you should have made sure he didn't pick Kamala. I don't know what level of control they had over that. But if you can maneuver behind the scenes the way they were able to maneuver behind the scenes in the 11th hour, you do have to chalk it up to just arrogance and stupidity that they didn't anticipate this problem a year and a half ago. Because then they could have had a primary. They would have gotten one of their stooges in. They wouldn't have let a Bernie type win. They would have had whoever as opposed to Kamala Harris, and they would have been fine with it. And there'd have been no issue now. Instead, they're in an unwinnable situation where they're going to have to move heaven and earth if they want Kamala out at this point. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's a done deal whether Obama likes it or not, honestly, at this point. And they're stuck with an extraordinarily weak candidate going up against the next Hitler, as they say.
Well, the fact that they were going to run him is further evidence that he was never the president. They've been doing a weekend at Biden's act with him for 4 years, and they were hoping they could get away with that until after the election. That they never thought he was going to serve 4 more years. They just thought they could prop him up on the couch like they have been, call him the president, win the election, and then just continue to run the White House with him as a figurehead, which is increasingly clearly what's been going on.
Right. Yes.
That's the ideal president for these people.
Right, of course.
You don't even have to pretend they're in charge.
No, you don't even have to pretend. It's Anthony Blinken. It's Jake Sullivan.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's who you look to. Right? That's who you look to see actually what decisions are being made.
Right.
That's why when Blinken talks, it carries
beautiful.
so much more weight than when Biden talks.
Yeah, they didn't have to worry about Biden messing with their plans or having to really explain things or have hard conversations. That was the perfect puppet president for them. They wanted to keep it going, but it hit the wall when they put him in a debate.
Please clap.